Is your team falling short of their potential? Well, I hate to be the one to say this, but it's not their fault. It's your leadership. So let's discover how to unlock your team's true potential with this key strategy. Hey there, my name is Isai Rodriguez, and I'm your friend. And this here is where we build your leadership skills in your home business profits, one actionable tip at a time. So hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and let's get started. All right, so today I'm excited to share a key strategy that will help you unlock your team's true potential, right? Whether you're in direct selling, network marketing, or you're just running a home business, this tip can transform the way that your team performs. So let's stick around and get the most out of the next 5 or 10 minutes or so, right? So I generally like to start the episode out with a question. And so today's question is this, right? Have you ever felt like your team isn't performing as well as it could? Maybe you've got talented people on your team, but somehow things aren't just like, they're just not clicking. Maybe they're just not, they're there, they're working, they're hungry, they're doing what they should be doing, but it seems like they're not going anywhere, right? Well, today we're going to dive into a powerful lesson that can change all of that. So first, imagine you're a basketball coach and you've got some amazing players on your team that that you're coaching. You have this dream team, let's call them. You've got you have a star shooter, a brilliant center, and a point guard who's quick on his feet, quick with his hands. He's up and down the court, before you know it. Like, that's your team, right? Now, what do you think would happen if you made the shooter play the center position and the center player, you made him play point guard, let's say? Sounds like a disaster, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to my mentor back in high school. He told this great story over the weekend that kind of it illustrated magnificently the main idea of this episode. So obviously my mentor played basketball in high school, and so his coach at the time decided to mix things up during practice, right? There were two teams basically a starter team and the bench team, or the A string versus the B string teams, or first string, second string. I think you get the point. And his coach would put the teams to play against each other all the time, right? It was basically how they practice different plays and drills with actual defensive players in their face, so they could really get a hold or a grasp or an understanding of the plays in action from, as the coach was not only showing them how to do it, but running them through the plays, right? And this one time he did something totally out of the ordinary. What he did is that he put the starters in different positions. So again, you have these two teams, A team, B team, first string, second string, whatever. And what he did, he took the players, like his star players on the A string, right? And he mixed them up. He put them in all different positions. He totally shook things up, right? And so at the time, my mentor was the shooting guard, but for this one practice, he was put to play the center position, right? And the center, who was the center back then, well, they had him playing point guard. Long story short, the second string team totally wiped the floor with the first string team, right? Like they destroyed them, right? And they won not because they were better players, right? That's the point right there. Like, they won because they were all playing out of their strength zones. Like the team that had the best players had the players. They had the best players, but the players were all in different, like they were not in the spots where they normally played, right? Not in their strength zones. Here's the big takeaway out of this is that it's not just about having the best players on your team, right? It's about having the best players in the right positions, right? Now, I think this lesson applies perfectly to our world of, direct selling and network marketing. You see, every member of your team has unique strengths, unique abilities, talents, things, and what have you. And it's essentially your job as a leader to find out what those strengths are and to put them in the right roles, in the right positions, right? Think of them, you can think of it like, it's a puzzle, right? Each piece has its own shape and a place where it fits best within the construct of the puzzle. And if you've ever put a puzzle together, then you know that there's occasionally a piece or two that could potentially fit in, several spots, right? You can plug it in and it's like, it kind of fits right. It's in there snug and everything kind of lines up, but it just doesn't belong, right? Like, you take a step back, you look at the puzzle after you put that one odd piece in there and it fits, but like you look at it and it just doesn't belong. Like you're looking at it and like, okay, like, but the colors don't align. The lines aren't like just right. Okay. You'll notice that it doesn't quite go where you had put it, right? And that's the thing. If you try to force a piece where it doesn't belong, the whole picture gets messed up, right, in your puzzle. But when each piece is in the right spot, in the right place, the perfect spot, right? When they're in the spot that they belong, everything comes together beautifully. Like all of a sudden you have this, you can have a Van Gogh, you can have a masterpiece, you can have whatever. You look at it and you're amazed. Like there's a sense of accomplishment, right? A sense of pride. Like I did that. That puzzle right there, that picture, that masterpiece, that was me, right? You feel good about yourself. So let's break this down into a simple actionable step, right? Because I like to give out actionable steps in each of these videos to go along with the lesson, or so I try anyway. But I want you to start by observing your team, right? What are their natural talents? Who's great at talking to people? Who's fantastic at organizing? Who loves numbers and details and things like that and what have you? And then once you got a sense of their strengths, then start aligning their roles with what they do best, right? So for example, let's say you have a good talker on your team, right? If you've got someone who's great at talking and building relationships, let them handle customer outreach and follow-ups and things like that, right? What if you have a team member who loves organizing and planning, right? Okay. Why not put them in charge of events and, or team logistics, things like that, things that require numbers and details and things like that, right? How about, like, again, if you have a numbers person, someone who's good with, adding and subtracting numbers and seeing the relationships between this number and that number and how I'm not necessarily a numbers guy. I'm good at math. I'm not a numbers guy per se, but if you do have someone like that on your team, then you can have him or her manage your finances or keep them, track your team's performance, right? That's basically it. Remember, when people are working in their strength zones, they're not just more effective. They're also happier and more engaged, right? And a happy, engaged team is a productive team, right? They're a winning team. So take some time this week to really look at your team, figure out where their strengths are, and make sure that they're in the right roles. Make sure they're in the right positions. Trust me, this small shift can lead to huge results in your business. And you'll be like, wow, where did that come from? So anyway, there you have it, my friends. That's my tip for today. If you found this episode helpful, if you found some value in it, if you found it inspiring, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. And if you have any questions, any topics you like to talk about, any comments, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to follow the link in the description for access to my free masterclass training where I show you how to get started and grow your own home business and on autopilot today. Until the next time, I want you to stay legendary, my friends, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Take care now. Bye.